Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Breaking Bad. Last time on Breaking Bad we had Confessions, where a bunch of stuff happened. We had the slight confession of Walter White. It was a confession of something, alright. He basically made a tape and gave it to Hank, confessing that Hank was the mastermind behind Heisenberg and that he forced Walt into cooking for him. But he hasn't shown it to anyone, just Hank, mainly just as a threat, which is pretty interesting. And then we also had a lot of stuff with Jesse, Walt realizing that Jesse needs to get out of there, and but before he was basically whisked away to Alaska, he realized that Huell actually lifted his dope per Saul's order. And if Huell was able to do that, he was able to take the ricin cigarette from him. And he knows that Walt is the one who poisoned Brock, basically. And he went to Walt's home, and he started dousing it with gasoline. It's about to burn. So things are about to go down. Now we have a confrontation incoming, I think, between Walt and Jesse, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, this is where I say no spoilers in the comments, and you guys know how to find the reaction. It's in the description or in the pinned comment. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this episode of Breaking Bad. Here we go. Okay, now that was about a normal length episode. Interesting. My recording is a bit longer than normal. Oh well. Alrighty, that is episode 12. Now luckily, we still have 4 more episodes left, because this season is longer, but man, oh man. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. This is getting down to the wire, man. And he is going to have to go with that option. Go with that option. Even though he was legit. He was legit. They could have gotten him right then and there. Oh, no. I'm very curious as to what Jesse's better way will be, though. He must be thinking that he'll have to have Todd's uncle basically come after him. So I'm not exactly sure what the way is, but he has an idea. He has a better way to do this, and I mean, let's face it, this is Jesse we're talking about, and Jesse does have these cockamamie schemes, and they have worked before. So what could it be this time? I honestly don't know. Okay. Let's talk this episode. So, first thing is Jesse and the gas. So that's interesting. Because yeah, it's like, it is this mystery of like, okay, well, what happened to Jesse? You know, he wouldn't have just changed his mind, but what exactly did happen? And that was very interesting that it was Hank that found him and persuaded him to join him, basically, to take down Walt. So that was very interesting. I like that. You know, something I'm kind of thinking about with the better way, just now I just thought of this. Maybe it's that if they know... Maybe he's thinking if they know that it's coming, then it could work. You know? Then they could get ahead of it. Maybe. I don't know. Because even Hank was saying, like, oh, well, if Jesse's right and, you know, he gets killed, then he gets killed and we have it on tape. But the thing is, if Jesse was just shot by some other person, that doesn't necessarily implicate Walt. You know? Well, I mean, it kind of does, but we wouldn't fully know that it was Walt that did it, you know? So, yeah, it's a bit tricky. It's honestly a bit tricky. And I'm very curious as to what the better way will be. But yeah, Hank actually got Jesse out of there and persuaded him to help against Walt. That's very interesting. I like that. Because, yeah, it's like, that's the thing is that Hank has been going through this whole series trying to get Heisenberg. And that's taken him to Gale, and that's taken him to Gus, that took him to Mike, and now he's finally at Heisenberg, but he hasn't had anything. But this is exactly what you need to take down Heisenberg, is basically his other half, you know? Because Jesse, let's face it, Jesse is a very smart person. He does have these, cockamamie schemes that he hatches up. He does know the man. He does know how to, get under his skin. He probably knows the most about Walt because he spent the most time with him. So, yeah, if anyone could take down Heisenberg, it's probably his apprentice. It's like the Sith, Take him down. Strike me down. So, yeah, that was interesting. We went to a hotel, which I like. Which I love the detail. This is such a great hotel room, But that is because they can afford that. So I just did really like that. But yeah, the excuse of, they have to go to a hotel because of the gas smell. And it was interesting how he, came up with the gas, lie, which Skylar immediately saw right through. And that's the thing is technically Junior did too. There is every time Walt has a lie, it is this story, and he tells it so quickly and casually that that's how you know he's lying, That's how you know it, is that when he goes off on this story, it's like, oh, well, the craziest thing happened. I was there filling up gas, and there was a pump malfunction, and I doused myself, and I came home, I took a shower, then I realized my clothes are soaking into the carpet, and that's just my fault. It's like, they both immediately know, okay, you're fucking lying if that's what you're going with. Like, they both know that he's lying. But for different reasons, or they suspect different things. Junior obviously suspects, like, oh, well, you fainted again because you're sick, and that's how you doused yourself. Skylar is thinking, shit, we're in danger, So, yeah, that was interesting. And we gotta talk about Old Yeller. Where yeah, it's like this has been the thing throughout all of this, that Walt tries to protect Jesse, and we've had that for so long. That's why Walt ended up taking out those two drug dealers and stuff, and they took out Gale and everything that happened because he tried to protect Jesse. That's why Jane died, is because he thought that without Jane he would get Jesse back, basically. But a lot of his actions are motivated by protecting or keeping Jesse, So that's the thing. Honestly, Jesse is sort of like a son to him, And it's because of, his desire to protect Jesse that we gained so much friction with Gus, which resulted in everything that happened there. So, yeah, that's the thing, is that it is all just, he does legitimately care about Jesse, but now there's just nothing else he can do, and he's got to put the Rabid Dog down. But before you kick this dog to death, beware. He barks. Bites! That's a little Count of Monte Cristo. I believe the 70s version of the Count of Monte Cristo, when Edmond Dantes confronts General Mondego. Yeah. It's a fun fight scene, honestly. And so I just wanted to quote that to you. But see, unlike that, where Edmund defeats Mondego, I well, I guess we don't know if that will happen here, but it's a lot more, like, this is, again, it's a lot more down to the wire. It's a lot more, like, even, I guess. It could honestly, we could go either way on who will win between them, So we'll have to see. And who knows, maybe the reason that Walt goes to the Denny's future is because he's actually, like, in hiding from Jesse. Could be that. We don't know. But yeah. But for a while, it is interesting. He is genuinely like, no, I'm not going to kill Jesse. I'm going to talk to him. Even to Saul, even to Skylar, he is saying, no, I am not going to kill him. I want to talk to him. I think we can sort this out, So that was interesting. Because, yeah, Skylar is sitting here like, well, what's one more person? What's one more body? And Walt is thinking, this is not just anyone. This is not Gale. This is not Gus. This is not even Mike. This is Jesse, and I cannot just put him down if I don't have to, basically. But now he has been pushed to the point, it's like, shit, I have to do it. And so he called Todd's uncle. Well, Todd for his uncle, basically. We had Marie talking about poisons. That was fucking scary. Jesus. Yeah, she spent 6 hours trying to find untraceable poisons. And while she says she's not going to use any of it, she just likes to think about it. Like, oh, Jesus Christ, that's fucked up, Like, that is so crazy, but alright, man. Jesse did give his confession, which is interesting, and Gomez is now he's in the loop about Walt being Heisenberg. So I would imagine, like, Hank hasn't brought this before the rest of the DEA, and he's only brought it to Gomez because he knows Gomez will, help, basically. Like, now it's the two of them taking on Heisenberg. They're not involving the rest of the DEA because, like Hank said, as soon as I bring this to the DEA, I'm done. This is the end of my career. But I'm thinking that Gomez is saying, okay, let me help you make sure we have everything before we bring this to the DEA. Now, it was interesting. At first I was thinking, like, oh, maybe Jesse won't do this because he's thinking, oh, well, I just give my confession and then I'm arrested. But that isn't the case. Not exactly the case. And he did give the full confession of everything. And they heard it all. They heard everything. And they came up with the wire plan of getting basically a confession out of Walt without him knowing it. And that would be the evidence they needed to prove everything that Jesse said in his confession. And with that, they would be able to take down Walt. And again, like they said, it's like, oh, well, what if Walt does kill Jesse then and there? And Hank was saying, well, if that happens, then we get it on tape. Pinkman is dead and Walt is arrested. It's like, okay, so it's not exactly the gamble that they were thinking. For Hank, it's like, oh, well, if he dies, he dies. And then we still arrest Walt because that is the proof that we need, So, yeah, that's the thing. But apparently there's another way, according to Jesse. And I will be very curious as to how he's going to do that. Again, maybe he's thinking if they know for sure that Jesse is going to be hunted, maybe they could get ahead of it, but I'm not sure. I am not sure. They may think that they need the full force of the DEA. I don't know, but there's apparently a better way, and I am all in for one last Jesse Pinkman cockamamie scheme. So I'm very excited to get to that. This was a really great episode, and we are getting down to the wire, man. Now, I don't know if this is going to be like next episode, and then we go, at some point we have to go back to the Denny's future, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know when we're going to be doing that, but I am excited for it. So yeah, that is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Breaking Bad reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.